I didn't expect the most humiliating moment of my life to come while I was eating filet mignon at a table full of liars. The lights were dimmed, the wine was expensive, and the smiles were fake. We were celebrating my wife's supposed promotion. Emily was glowing, but not because of the job, no. She had that post-sin glow. You know it when you see it. And I was the only one who hadn't read the script. Her mother, Linda, clinked her glass and said, to Emily in her bold new chapter, both professionally and personally. I frowned. Personally. That's when her father, Jim, chimed in, swirling his whiskey like it was holy water. Oh, come on, Nathan. You're a smart guy. You know how these things go. Emily leaned in, resting her perfect little hand on mine like she wasn't spitting in my face with every word. Nate. We should talk. I've been seeing someone. My boss, actually. Tyler. Silence. Except for the thumping in my ears. I'm sorry. What? I said, laughing. Because what else can you do when the woman you married drops a bomb in front of her entire family like it's a toast? Her sister Hannah just shrugged. It's not a big deal. Everyone does it. Everyone. I repeated, my voice tight. Emily nodded. Everyone in this family has a lover. It makes relationships stronger. Look how happy we are. I looked around. No one looked shocked. Not even a twitch of shame. That's when her brother, Ryan, the guy who once cried watching Forrest Gump, said, Nate, be a man. Accept it. My hands curled into fists under the table, but I kept my voice even. You want me to accept that my wife is sleeping with her boss? Emily scoffed. It's for our future, Nathan. Tyler has connections. He's helping me grow. Oh, he's helping you grow? I barked out a bitter laugh. Stop being dramatic, Emily hissed. You have two options, apologize or leave. Apologize. The room spun for a second. My mouth went dry. I stared at this woman I'd shared my life with, the late-night talks, the trips, the vows, and saw a stranger. No, worse. I saw a cold, calculated snake, dressed in silk and lies. And the rest of them, the whole damn family, just kept sipping their drinks, as if we were debating whether to order dessert. I stood up. Slowly. Calmly. My chair scraped back with a squeak that sounded like a scream in the silence. I looked at Emily, then her family. I'm not apologizing, I said, voice low. And I'm not begging. I'm done. I walked out. But not before I left a parting gift. See, I'd been suspicious for weeks. Emily started coming home late, smelling like cologne that wasn't mine. Her phone was face down, always on silent. I knew something was off, so I checked her iPad. Stupid woman forgot it syncs with her iPhone. Photos. Messages. Voice notes. Tyler whispering filth. Her moaning his name. Plans to meet at hotels. And her calling me boring. Predictable. A stepping stone. So I made copies. Saved them. Organized them neatly by date and folder. That night, after dinner, I didn't go home. I booked a one-way flight to Mexico. But before I left, I mailed a flash drive to Emily's boss's wife. Another one went to HR at their company. And the third? I left it right there. In Emily's pillowcase. With a note that said, Enjoy your freedom. You earned it. The next morning, my phone had 76 missed calls. From Emily. Her mom. Her sister. Even Ryan. I turned the phone off, lay back in a hammock in Tulum, and ordered a drink. This was only the beginning. When I left that restaurant, I thought I'd feel relief. I expected the satisfaction of finally walking away from a poisonous circus. But as the cab pulled away from their smug faces and clinking glasses, all I felt was a burning hole in my chest. I got to the hotel, sat on the edge of the bed, and just stared at the wall. Everything around me was quiet, too quiet. No buzzing of Emily's constant texts. No familiar sound of her voice, sweet, manipulative, sharp when she needed something. It had all been fake. I opened my laptop and scrolled through the folder I had titled Truth. Inside were screenshots of every message between her and Tyler. I had organized them like a forensic file. One in particular kept haunting me. He's too soft. Tyler, you challenge me. Nate just exists. She wrote that 2 days after our anniversary. We'd gone to that fancy cabin she wanted in Aspen. I cooked for her. Read her that dumb poetry she liked. Gave her the necklace with her birthstone. She smiled. Kissed me. Told me I was the only man who understood her soul. Lies. All of it. And that wasn't even the worst message. There was another, a voice note. I told him I'm working late, but I'm wearing that black lace set you love. I'll be there in 30. That same night, I had picked up takeout from her favorite Thai place and waited 3 hours before she came home, pretending to be tired from meetings. She kissed my cheek and fell asleep in my arms. I should have known. The perfume was different. Her hair had a hint of aftershave, but I didn't want to believe it. I closed the laptop and poured myself a drink. Bourbon. The good stuff. The one I only opened on rare occasions, anniversaries, promotions, life milestones. I figured this counted. Then my phone started lighting up like fireworks. Emily. Over and over. I didn't answer. I just watched the screen flash with her name, her face, that same pretty face that had lied to me so easily. I finally listened to one voicemail. Nathan, what the hell did you do? You ruined everything. Tyler's wife went insane. She showed up at the office. HR is involved, and you embarrassed me in front of everyone. Call me back now. No, I'm sorry. No regret. Just rage. Like I betrayed her. It was laughable. But the best part came next. An email from Tyler's wife. Short and sharp. Thank you. You just saved me years of my life. I'm leaving him. Another life scorched. Another mask ripped off. And for once, I wasn't the fool. By the time the sun rose, I had checked into my flight. Left a note for the cleaning staff in the hotel thanking them for their kindness. I took one last look at the skyline, the same one Emily used to stare at while pretending she was dreaming of our future. Funny. Turns out she was dreaming of someone else's bed. When the plane lifted off the runway, I felt something crack inside me. The pain was still there, but there was something else too. Freedom. I didn't know where this journey would take me. All I knew was, I was never going back. Not to her. Not to that life. And definitely not to that table full of snakes pretending to be family. That chapter was closed. But the next one? That would be mine to write. I landed in Tulum just past noon. The sun hit different there, warm but distant, like it knew I was carrying something heavy and didn't want to ask about it. I checked into a quiet beach villa, far from the usual tourist chaos. No itinerary, no obligations, just me and my broken heart. The silence was deafening at first. At home, Emily filled every space with noise, Spotify playlists, fake laughs on speakerphone, her constant complaints about coworkers she was apparently also screwing. Here, it was just the sound of waves and my own damn thoughts. I sat on the porch, cracked open a cold beer, and looked through old photos. Not because I missed her, but because I needed to see how deep the deception went. Our honeymoon in Greece? Smiles. Sunset selfies. She was probably texting Tyler while I held her hand on the cliffs of Santorini. Our Christmas photo? She wore red lipstick I later saw smeared on a hotel bedsheet in one of her selfies. Even our wedding photo started to look staged, her smile too wide, my eyes too trusting. I was spiraling. But then I got the message. It came from Ryan, her brother. Nate, man. I didn't know it would go that far. I thought it was just a thing. Emily was always complicated. I laughed. Complicated? That's what you call someone who invites you to a family dinner just to announce she's screwing her boss? I didn't reply. Then Hannah texted. Can we talk? I didn't agree with how Em handled things. I told her not to do it like that. She wouldn't listen. I didn't trust her. None of them. They all sat there that night, nodding like cult members, defending betrayal like it was an investment strategy. But curiosity got the better of me. I messaged back. Talk? Go ahead. She sent a voice memo. Nate. I'm sorry. I didn't think she'd be this cruel. But there's more. Tyler's not the only one. There was another guy last year. A client from San Francisco. She used to fly out for work, but really, she was with him. I caught her once. She swore it was over. A pit opened in my stomach. Another one? The puzzle pieces snapped together fast now, the mysterious conference, the surprise trip she took alone, the perfume I didn't recognize. And I had missed it. All of it. I replied, why are you telling me this now? Because she's saying you're unstable. She told Mom you might be dangerous. That's why they're all panicking. She's trying to spin it before it all hits her. Of course. Classic Emily. Destroy a man, then play the victim. She wasn't afraid of what I'd do. She was afraid I'd keep exposing the truth. She should be. Because I was just getting started. I opened my laptop and pulled up the HR contact list from Emily's firm. I had it from one of the folders I copied. I drafted an anonymous email, formal, clean, with attached screenshots of explicit messages sent during office hours, a calendar invite that led straight to a hotel, and one sweet image of her in lingerie labeled, for your promotion. I hit send. Then I called a lawyer back home. Divorce? Yes. But more than that, I wanted to secure my assets. Emily never paid a dime toward our house. I had to make sure she didn't get a damn cent from the ruins she created. And that night, I slept better than I had in months. No lies in the sheets. No phantom perfume. No fake cuddles while she planned her next escape. Just the sound of the ocean and a man who had finally woken up. 3 days later, I called her. Not because I missed her. Not because I wanted closure. I called because I wanted her to know that I wasn't the weak little trophy husband she always thought I was, the one she could cheat on, gaslight, humiliate, and still expect to crawl back, begging to stay. She picked up fast. Too fast. Nathan? Oh my God, finally. Her voice was frantic, all fake sweetness dipped in panic. The kind of voice you use when you know you've been caught, but still think you can talk your way out. You've been dodging me for days, she went on. This isn't like you. You're right, I said calmly. This isn't like me. You made sure of that. A pause. Then the shift. I could hear her smile twisting into something venomous. Is this about Tyler's wife? You need to calm down, Nate. You went too far. No, I interrupted. You went too far. You cheated. You humiliated me in public. You used me like a stepping stone, and now that the house is burning, you want me to hand you the extinguisher. Another pause. Then came the guilt trip. I never meant to hurt you, she whispered. You don't understand. I felt trapped. You stopped paying attention to me. You were always tired, distracted. I needed to feel alive again. You needed to get banged by your boss in hotel rooms? Silence. Don't play the victim, Emily, I snapped. You weren't neglected. You were bored. You wanted the thrill, the attention, the game. And you thought I'd be too nice, too slow to notice. Her tone shifted again. Defensive. Nasty. Oh. Get over yourself, Nathan. You weren't exactly a prize either. You think buying flowers and cooking dinner makes up for being emotionally dead? I had to carry this marriage alone for years. I laughed. A real, bitter laugh. You carried it? You couldn't carry a conversation without lying. You were rehearsing moans for Tyler while I was planning our anniversary. Oh please, she hissed. You're being dramatic. People cheat. It doesn't mean they don't love their spouse. No, I said coldly. It just means they never did in the first place. Then I dropped the bomb. I sent everything to your HR. You're under investigation. Tyler's been suspended pending review, and I've got a lawyer drawing up divorce papers. You'll be served soon. She exploded. You vindictive piece of... Do you have any idea what you've done? You ruined my career. My reputation. I stayed quiet. Let her scream. Let her choke on her own fury. You think you'll get away with this? You think you're the victim here? Everyone will know how unstable you are. They already know, I said calmly. I sent the receipts. You forgot your iPad syncs, remember? I've got backups of everything, photos, messages, timestamps. You were sloppy. She went dead silent. And then, finally, the truth cracked through her voice. What do you want from me? That line. That exact sentence. It was the first time I heard her really scared. But I didn't want anything. I want you to understand that this time, you don't win. You don't manipulate your way out. You don't walk away with sympathy and spin. You don't get to rewrite the story. I was loyal, I said. And you were poison. And now? I'm cleansing every part of my life that had your fingerprints on it. Click. I hung up. And for the first time in months, maybe years, I didn't feel like the fool. I felt like the man I used to be, the man before Emily twisted my world into hers. The man who was finally free. The next morning, I woke up to a storm. Not a weather one, the digital kind. Emails, texts, missed calls, even messages on LinkedIn. Word had spread fast. Turns out, when you blow up the fragile world of liars, the debris hits everyone. Emily's firm had placed her on administrative leave. Tyler was already out. HR was investigating everything, including inappropriate use of company resources thanks to that little hotel receipt she so lovingly paid with her work card. Rookie mistake. But what really lit the fire was the flash drive I mailed to Tyler's wife. She didn't just blow up her marriage, she blew up his entire life. I got a message from her, Julia, the same woman Emily had smirked about, calling her a clueless housewife with too much Botox. Thank you for the evidence. I left him. I'm taking the kids. And I forwarded everything to the board. One line. Ruthless. Efficient. I respected it. But that wasn't the end. Apparently, Emily had told her family that I was emotionally abusive, that I'd snapped because of work stress, that I fabricated the cheating out of paranoia. Classic move. Destroy a man's world, then play victim when he refuses to stay quiet. What she didn't expect was that I had anticipated everything. I had backups of everything she ever said. Voice notes, emails, text logs. I uploaded them to a secure drive and shared it with my lawyer and only him, just in case she got any ideas. But still, I won't lie, it hurt. Seeing her try to bury me under her lies after everything I gave her, that hit different. This wasn't just cheating. It was character assassination. And it made me realize something. She never loved me. Not really. I was a placeholder. A safety net. A steady hand while she hunted for chaos. And once she got bored of the calm, she lit the whole damn bridge on fire. I went to the beach that afternoon. Just sat there, letting the tide creep up to my feet, wondering how the hell I had missed the signs. Because there were signs. The way she started guarding her phone like it held nuclear codes. The way she suddenly needed space, yet spent more time working late than actually sleeping next to me. How she picked fights over nothing, just so she could storm off and disappear for hours. At first, I blamed myself. Maybe I wasn't enough. Maybe I should have tried harder. But no, that's what she wanted me to think. The truth is, she chose this. She chose to lie, to sneak around, to sleep with a man who gave her a fake future built on stolen hours and motel sheets. And she expected me to accept it, to swallow my pride and support her while she sold her soul for a promotion. The worst part? She didn't even feel guilty. Not once in that call did she say, "I'm sorry." Not once did she sound like someone who regretted destroying a marriage. She only cared that she lost something. So I decided right then, I wasn't just walking away. I was erasing her. I'd already locked down our joint accounts, froze the credit cards, changed all my passwords. The house? It was in my name. The car? Mine too. She could keep her dresses, her lies, and her fake smiles. But she wasn't getting me. Not anymore. I walked back from the beach as the sun dipped low, painting the sky with fire. It felt symbolic. A burning sky over a buried past. And me, standing in the middle of it all, finally ready to rebuild. Alone, but honest. No more secrets. No more Emily. Just the truth. I thought it was over. That once the truth was out, everyone would finally see her for who she really was. But I underestimated just how deep the rot ran in her family. 3 days after the fallout, I got a call from an unknown number. I ignored it. It rang again. Same number. Then a text followed. "Pick up, Nathan. It's Linda." Her mother. Curiosity got the better of me. I picked up. "Nathan," she said, her voice tight. "We need to talk." I expected anger. Accusations. But what I got? Guilt tripping. "You really embarrassed us," she began. "Emily's career is hanging by a thread. Do you know how hard she worked for that?" I stayed silent. Let her twist her rope. "She made mistakes," Linda continued, "but you airing everything in public? That was cruel. Families have to protect each other." "Funny," I said coldly. "I don't remember anyone protecting me at that dinner. You all sat there smiling while my wife told me she was sleeping with her boss and demanded I accept it." She sighed like I was being unreasonable. "We were trying to show you that love is complicated, that sometimes you have to make compromises." "No," I snapped. "What you tried to do was manipulate me into silence. You wanted me to roll over, smile, and say thank you while your daughter lit our marriage on fire." Then came the real reason for the call. "She's devastated, Nathan. She's crying every day. She's saying you're turning everyone against her. Can't you at least talk to her? Just smooth things over. Maybe we don't need to go through with the divorce so quickly." I almost laughed. "This isn't a disagreement, Linda. This isn't a rough patch. Your daughter didn't cheat once. She made it a lifestyle. And you all defended her like it was family tradition. She made a mistake. She made choices. Repeatedly. And now you're calling me to fix what she broke." I could hear her anger surfacing. "You don't have to be so dramatic." There it was again. That same dismissive tone from dinner. The same tone Emily used when I found out about Tyler. The same one Ryan had when he told me it wasn't a big deal. To them, betrayal was normal. To them, I was the problem for not going along with it. I hung up. 2 hours later, I got a voicemail from Ryan. "You're being selfish, Nate. We get it. She messed up. But you didn't have to ruin her whole life. This could have been handled in private." I deleted it. Then came Hannah's message. "I know you're hurt, but maybe you shouldn't have exposed the messages. There were other ways." Other ways? Like what? Let her keep cheating in peace? Let her climb the ladder while dragging me through the mud? I realized something that night. Emily wasn't the only toxic one. The whole damn family was infected. They believed loyalty meant silence, that covering up sins was a virtue. But me? I believe in truth. So I sent one last message, a group text to all of them. Tell Emily I'll see her in court. And if any of you contact me again, my lawyer will handle it. You chose her lies over my respect. So now you can keep them. Blocked. All of them. The door wasn't just closed, it was bolted shut. And with every step forward, I felt lighter. They tried to trap me in a family of snakes. But I'd already burned the nest. By the end of the second week, I had stopped checking my phone. It no longer buzzed with desperation, guilt trips, or gaslighting. I had blocked every number connected to Emily and her twisted little clan. The silence? It was finally peaceful. I started my mornings early in Tulum, just me, a coffee mug, and the slow rise of the sun over the water. There was something about being so far away from everything, from the lies, the chaos, the broken trust, that let me breathe for the first time in years. It's funny what you realize when you have space to think. Like how I used to shrink myself for her. I'd walk on eggshells around her moods. I let her talk me into thinking her sarcasm was wit, that her cold shoulder was just stress, that her flirting with strangers was just her being friendly. I defended her when people raised eyebrows. I stood up for her when she didn't deserve it, even to myself. Love makes fools out of men. But betrayal? It wakes you up like a bucket of ice. There was one morning, maybe the 10th since I'd left, where I stared at my reflection for a solid 5 minutes. Not out of vanity, but to really see myself. I didn't recognize the guy I used to be. That version of Nathan? He was timid. He wanted peace so badly that he tolerated war in his own house. But now I could feel something new growing inside me steal. I hired a private investigator. Not because I needed more dirt on Emily, but because I wanted to understand how far the lies went. Closure wasn't just emotional for me, it was practical. And oh boy, he delivered. Turns out, Tyler wasn't the first. Or the second. There were 3 others. One was a client, the San Francisco guy Hannah warned me about. Another was a former professor she reconnected with at a conference. And the last one? A neighbor. Someone we had over for dinner more than once. I stared at the report for a while, feeling nothing. That was the scary part. I didn't feel anger. Not anymore. Just pity. For the version of me who believed in her. The man who bought her flowers for no reason, cooked dinner when she was tired, listened to her talk about work for hours, thinking he was being a supportive husband. That man died the night she looked me in the eyes and said, "You have 2 options, apologize or leave." She didn't know it then, but she gave me exactly what I needed. Permission to choose freedom. That night, I went out. Alone. Not to drink. Not to drown anything. Just to live. I found a small local bar by the beach, ordered grilled fish, and watched a group of strangers dance to music I didn't understand. I laughed for the first time, really laughed. And it felt good. Like healing. Like becoming someone I actually liked. I met a man at that bar, older guy, expat, divorced twice. He said something I'll never forget. There are 2 kinds of heartbreak, son. The kind that breaks you, and the kind that sets you free. The difference? Whether or not you decide to rebuild. I nodded, because I knew I wasn't just rebuilding. I was redefining, not just my life, but myself. The next day, I emailed my lawyer and told him, push for everything I deserve. Full property, no spousal support, and public documentation of infidelity. I wasn't being vindictive. I was being done. Emily made her choices. Now I was making mine. And this time, I was choosing me. 3 weeks after walking away from Emily, I stood barefoot in the sand watching a storm roll in over the ocean. The horizon was bruised purple, the waves restless, and the air thick with that electric tension before a downpour. It felt symbolic. Like the world was preparing to cleanse itself. Just like I had. The divorce papers were signed. My lawyer made sure of that. No courtroom drama. No negotiations. She tried to push back, of course, cried in front of the mediator, claimed I was abandoning her, said I was taking everything. But all I had to do was slide the photos across the table. The folder. The proof. Game over. She got nothing. Not the house, not the savings, not my silence. I walked out of that office with my head high and her last attempt at manipulation bleeding out behind me. But something strange happened once the dust truly settled. I didn't feel victorious. I felt tired. Like a soldier coming home after a war no one else knew existed. My armor was still on, my fists still clenched. But there was no one left to fight. It took me days to unwind that tension. To realize that I wasn't just mourning a marriage, I was mourning myself. The man I was when I believed in love. The man who looked at his wife and saw forever. That version of me? He died the night Emily made her little ultimatum. But in his place, someone stronger stood up. Someone who learned the hardest truth of all. Love doesn't mean loyalty. And loyalty doesn't guarantee love. Emily didn't cheat because she was confused, or broken, or unloved. She cheated because she could. Because she was entitled. Because she believed I'd always forgive, always fix, always stay. That was her mistake. My mistake? Thinking love was supposed to hurt sometimes. That being a good man meant enduring disrespect in the name of patience. Never again. Since then, I've had time to reflect. I started journaling, something I never did before. Writing down everything. The dinners where she made me feel small. The gaslighting. The night she rolled away from me in bed and told me she was just tired, when really, she had just come back from another man's arms. Every word was a wound, but every page was healing. And now, if I could say one thing to the version of me who sat at that dinner table, jaw clenched while her family toasted to infidelity, I'd say, walk sooner. Don't wait to be broken. You owe no one your silence. To any man reading this, stuck in a situation where his gut is screaming, where the respect is gone, where he's made to feel like he's the crazy one, listen to me. You are not weak for leaving. You are powerful for saving yourself. Emily taught me something she never meant to. That the people who scream the loudest about love often know the least about it. That for our future sometimes just means for her benefit. That betrayal dressed in a silk dress still stinks when the mask falls off. Now I wake up to the sound of waves, not lies. I sleep in a bed that doesn't smell like another man's cologne. I look in the mirror and don't see a fool. I see a survivor. I don't hate her anymore. I pity her. Because at the end of the day, I walked away with my soul intact. My name clean. My dignity sharpened by fire. And she's just another story in a folder full of receipts. The storm finally broke that night. Thunder cracked the sky open, rain poured down in thick sheets, and the world was scrubbed raw. And me? I stood in it, arms wide, letting it wash away the last of her. Free. Finally.